Hello everyone, it's Hanafuda and welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway for the EA Sports 500. Another 47 laps around the longest track in NASCAR. One of the most dangerous, one of the most infamous. Apparently a fan favorite, but I'm not going to disguise it. I don't like this track because I'm not good at it. I suck at restricted plate racing. And I qualified last. Genuinely last. Just barely behind PK, who also did not have a good time either. But Matthew Burnett starts on pole alongside Max Davis in the front row. Bob and Flood with Jana Fogelman make up the second row. We got Evans and Morgan. We got Cropley and Schadewald, your Daytona 500 winner. Again, expected to put in a good result today. She usually seems to be able to at the super speedways. Annie Thomas and Mathis Wells, Sabrina Footlego and Patrick Smith, your current points leader. And right in front of the two people challenging him for that title, Monaco and Bracken. We got Özkan and Charlebois, we got Pepper and Ebrahimi, we got Trickle and Jenkins, Wolf, Zane, Tyke, Austin, Harvey, Spurley, Samaya, Hicks, Langestein, Whitlock, Sato, White, Voilas, Franco Allen, Rocky Johnson, Reggie Fogelman, Montero Salin, and rounding out the field, Estasio PK, and the GOAT. So, I slowed down the pace car, so we're not going to have the problem with the whole field zooming past. But as you can see, I didn't even bring this up, but Talladega looks nice and repaved, revamped. Very cool, very sleek. None of the cracks and such that we saw in the previous race. Of course, cars might look a little bit funky in the cloudy conditions, but no matter. 40 cars zooming towards the start line very slowly here, admittedly, as the green flag drops for what's sure to be another memorable race at Talladega Super Speedway. Matthew Burnett leads the field through turns 1 and 2. Max Davis on the outside, already looking a bit vulnerable to Jana Fogelman on the inside. Jana Fogelman with a world of qualifying time, obviously, matching wits with Davis and Burnett, along with Schadewald as well, Morgan as well. You can see Cropley, Smith up in the field, Evans as well. These people that you have seen dominating in the previous races. Obviously the GOAT led from pole to checkered in the previous race at Dover, but yeah, when it comes to drivers like Smith, Davis, and Evans, Davis falling behind, so maybe not the opportune time to point this out. You see them at the front of the field very often recently, and you're seeing them at the front of the field today. Matthew Burnett, can he lead lap 1 at Talladega? Morgan trying to beat him on the inside. Morgan's going to make it there first, just like Kevin Harvick on Jamie McMurray in 2010. I think it was 2010 when that happened. Obviously, that must have been a year after Carl Edwards' famous last lap crash that we're all well acquainted with. We've watched it many times. The car's piling down the backstretch. You can see the GOAT in the background, having made up a few positions here. Steve Morgan leading a bit comfortably. That's Flomo into the wall. Flomo's upside down. We got a crash already here at Talladega. Oh crap, but oh dear, it's the big one once again. The GOAT making it through somehow. Lots of cars caught up in this crash here. More crashing up at the oh no. Oh dear. Oh crap, it's all gone off at Talladega. It's the big one. The big one appeared to occur in 2 different locations. Down the backstretch and through turns 3 and 4. So that's also a caution on lap 2. We could not even complete 2 laps of this race without everything going off at once. But yeah, let's take a look at that again. So, once again, it seems as if we have a case of cars trying to make it 3 wide here. That's Cropley, Flobo, and Charlebois running somewhere near the top 10 here. But as you can see, Flobo ends up driving into Cropley's side. I'm not sure what brought that on, but we'll take a look at Jana Fogelman's perspective here. But you can see, actually, I mean, I suppose Özkan might have a better perspective. Wells is in the way, but we can see Cropley as well. But yeah, actually, it looks more like Cropley driving into Flobo and taking him out, possibly because Jana Fogelman's there and Cropley doesn't want to get into her. But of course, Jana Fogelman does end up being collected in that crash, and that's not the best perspective here. But yeah, you can see Flobo rolling upside down. Jana Fogelman goes around. You can see Davis was collected. Pepper gets caught up as well. The GOAT survives. Daniel Voiles and Adalberto Franco piling into that car. Meanwhile, over here, we have, Davis coming back into Monaco's path. Trickle, Harvey, White, Hicks, and Johnson involved. Ebrahimian as well. But up the field, it seems as if more crashes end up occurring. possibly due to Flobo here, but actually, look at this. After the crash, all these cars making heavy contact with each other. I guess we'll take a look at our helicopter here. We will run it in slow motion so we don't have to listen to the helicopter sound. But yeah, contact with Lego, Burnett, Thomas, Smith, and Morgan getting caught up in that crash there. Austin gets a touch from Morgan's car. That slows him down. But the more crashing up here. More crashing. How does this come about? Yeah, you could see that. Okay, so, I mean, Zane and Taiki are on the apron trying to get back up here. Özkan and Wells run into each other. Then Zane into both of them, taking out Charlebois. And that's yeah, just more contact. Wolf gets caught up with Wells' car. Austin crashed into again. Sato and Reggie Fogelman just flipping over that span of cars. Allen ramming into Wolf and Austin there. What a joke that was. Somehow the GOAT able to survive all of this carnage. I mean, just check this out. We're going to have a look at his cockpit cam, in fact. How did he make it through that? But yeah, you can debris flying towards the GOAT's car. But yeah, somehow the GOAT able to survive all of that. You'd bet that the biggest risk there possibly was some car just rear-ending him. We'll take a look at the front camera here. Have a look on board, and then switch to the rear view camera. See, he was right by Sato and Reggie Fogelman, two cars that end up plowing into some of the cars that are stopped on the apron. Which, yeah, I mean, how is that possible? That's the question you really have to be asking yourself. Like, yeah, there's Reggie Fogelman on the apron. I guess they just picked the wrong place to be. You see the GOAT slowing up heavily there. Sato gets involved. Reggie Fogelman gets a piece of his car, but yeah. Oh dear, so many cars out of the race already on lap 2. It really was the big one. Here at Talladega, White and Trickle out. Evans appears to be leading the field from Bracken, Schonewald, and Lego. Lego, who ended up causing a crash of his own, escaping scot-free without very much damage, I believe. Jenkins, Taiki, Spurley, Samaya, Whitlock, and Cropley make up your top 10. They're followed by Langestein, Pepper, and the GOAT. Sal and Johnson Voiles coming out of this one. There's Charlebois and Harvey. They both got caught up in the crashes. Jana Fogelman, Morgan still out. Reggie Fogelman, Hicks, PK, Smith, Monaco and Bohemian. You can see Flobo and Wells on pit road. Burnett and Davis appear to be entering right now. These two started on the front row, and it remains to be seen if they retire from the race. Both of them retire from the race. Your two front row starters out of the race on lap 2. What a disaster. There's Özkan, Trickle, Wolf in pit road, Austin as well, along with Sato, White, and Joe Allen. Their day's over for sure. Look at the damage to Joe Allen's car. There he is, out of the race. Maybe we can just go back real fast and have a look at what happened to Joe Allen. Right on board. Looks like he managed to escape the first few crashes just unscathed, but Morgan's car nearly sliding down the racetrack right in front of him. But yeah, unfortunately, Joe Allen has a case of ARCA brakes on the grass and rams into Lyle Austin and Eli Wolf there. What a disaster that was. And again, what a shame that the GOAT had to survive. I believe these are cars that have already been on pit road. Jana Fogelman, Steve Morgan, Colin Cropley. There's Eric Monaco. Got Charlebois and PK exiting. Langestein and White appear to be as well. Trickle and Harvey. So yeah, it seems that both these guys will be back out onto the racetrack. Remains to be seen what happens to Jana Fogelman and Steve Morgan here. Morgan's out of the race. Perhaps we could take a look at him one last time. He was able to drive away from the accident. But yeah, we saw him sliding down the racetrack. Remember, Steve Morgan was leading the race when the caution came out. Obviously, they raced back into it, but yeah, Lego getting into Austin, Burnett, and Smith. Morgan got caught up in that mess. So yeah. Again, very unfortunate. See what happens here. We're going to restart on lap 7 here. Have a look at your field. Only 21 cars left in the race. 21 cars left in the race. Among them, as you can see, starting on the inside row when we restart, White and Trickle. So, out of this race, Johnson, Voiles, Morgan, Reggie Fogelman, Hicks, Smith, Monaco, the top 2 in the points, both out of this race. Smith scored just 1 position ahead of Monaco, but that obviously allows Christian Bracken in 3rd to make a very good points showing today and catch up to them. She's going to finish at least 21st, obviously, so 6 positions ahead. I mean, obviously, Bracken's going to hope for the race win, but, well, even with fewer cars left in the field, anything could still happen here at Talladega, so we'll see how we get on. But continuing on the list of drivers out of this race, Burnett, Thomas, and scored 31st through 40th here are Flobo, Wells, Davis, Özkan, Zane, Austin, Wolf, Sato, Franco, and Allen. How poetic that Franco finishes at the bottom of the field, along with Joe Allen. Very unfortunate. But yeah, cars left in the race. As mentioned, White and Trickle on the inside line. On the lead lap, only 19 cars. Lucas Evans, Christian Bracken, Ashley Schadewald, Sabrina Futlega, Leroy Jenkins, Arya Tankey, Raleigh Spurley, Gil Samaya, Reagan Whitlock, Gerald Pepper, the GOAT, Montero Sound, Antonin Charlebois, Stasio Piquet, Harry Langestein, Colin Cropley, Chris Harvey, Jana Fogelman, and Dylan Bohemian. Both Robert Yates racing cars involved in the crash on lap 2, but both back out onto the racetrack, having repaired the damage. Not much to repair in the first place, it seems. Harvey and Cropley also got caught up, I believe, but again, they're back in the race, as is Charlebois. Charlebois got a pretty nasty lick. Of course, White and Trickle, I believe, also pretty significantly involved, but a lot of the drivers you see at the top of the field as we restart, able to escape that carnage unscathed. Again, only 21 cars left in the field. Lucas Evans leading them through turns 1 and 2 here. White and Trickle immediately slowing up Ashley Schadewald. Bracken and Futlega on the outside line. Evans moves to the inside ahead of Brittany White here. You can already see that cars are beginning to fall behind the pack here. Ebrahimi and Langestein and Jana Fogelman. Again, those 2 Robert Yates racing cars, plus Langestein, who got caught up in the accidents earlier. Here are Harvey and Cropley, Piquet again, and Charlebois. Goat following behind R.E. Tankey and Joey Trickle here. 3 wide already at some sections of the racetrack here, but yeah, as you can see, it seems as if the top 3 are Evans, Bracken, and Futlega, and they've broken away from the pack. Bracken on the outside line, Futlega on the inside behind Lucas Evans. Things continue to be a bit more bunched up at the back of the field here, but it seems as your top 3 is going to be able to break away from the rest of the pack. How many lap times are? There's not even very much representative in terms of lap times at the moment, for obvious reasons. But yeah, again, you can appreciate just how many cars are out of this race. You can see all the cars in one shot almost. Almost being the operative word there. Sabrina Futlega moving to the inside. Lucas Evans obviously sliding up, opening the door for him. That's pretty unfortunate. Not what he was hoping for. But here comes Christian Bracken with support to the inside. It looks like the top 3 making it 3 wide through the tri-oval here. Evans furthest behind of those. Who's going to make it to the line to take an extra 5 points? Sabrina Futlega leads lap 8 of the EA Sports 500. It's in the game, I tell you what. I already know what the title of this race is going to be. It's got to be, yeah, say it with me now. EEEE. EEEE. What's that? Forget your game? Well, fine. Just leave your ego at the door, postmarked return to sender. I don't really remember what it was. What happened to Lucas Evans? Seems to have fallen off the face of the earth. Now at the back of this pack here of 7 cars, 8 cars, because I can't count. The GOAT leading a 3-car pack of Jenkins and Taiki. I'm so slow. It's so annoying. I don't know why I'm so slow. Later on, I increased the tire pressure but that just cools down the tires. I put on grill tape, but it doesn't raise the water temperature enough, and I'm just slow for the whole race. But now Shadowald's in the lead. Pepper and Whitlock running side by side down the backstretch and into turn 3 there. 4 wide, Evans, Bracken, Spurley, and Footlega falling behind. But yeah, as you can see, your top 8 appear to all be within range of each other, and they're going to be trading positions left, right, and center for the foreseeable number of laps. But Shadowald, yet another person to lead this race at Talladega. Pepper immediately vying for the field. Evans back to the inside, back to the top 3, right behind Gerald Pepper, who probably was not very pleased to find out that he's mathematically ineligible for the championship despite what seemed like a pretty decent comeback job at the tail end of the season. Gil Samaya definitely in the running for the championship here. Obviously, a lot of these drivers up front, such as Evans, Bracken, and Samaya, they're going to be able to close that gap to Patrick Smith, who's only going to score about, 80 points today. But obviously, Evans and Samaya, these guys up front here could be looking at just over 100 points, close to 150, depending on how well they finish when everything's said and done. Obviously, if they have to keep their momentum, keep their cool, and get that finish in. Who's going to make it to the line? Riley Spurley, yet another new leader of a lap for this race here. Obviously, these people trading positions all over the show, but only one person can make it to the line first. And lap 12 here, 25% of the race distance complete. Riley Spurley gets an extra 5 points, so it seems as if a lot of drivers are also going to get an extra 5 points that Patrick Smith had no chance to take. So that's going to be happy days for all of them. 3 wide with Samaya, Whitlock, and Bracken. Through turn 3 there, Bracken has support from Shadowald. These Dodge drivers up at the top here. Lots of female Dodge drivers, not least of which the Chip Ganassi teammates. But yeah, they all seem to be working together quite nicely here. We saw that at Dover as well, and I think possibly at New Hampshire also. They were running very close together. But Footlega, another new person to lead a lap this race, apparently. Right? Yep, Sabrina Footlega in the lead. Perhaps he already had the lead at some point. I genuinely forget. But again, kind of seems that he managed to cause another crash after the caution first came out, and now leads this race. I wonder how people will feel about that. Harry Langestein and Dylan Abrahamian having a nice relaxing Sunday drive, kind of looking like a bunch of highway patrol troopers on motorcycles running side by side, conversing about social political issues, eating donuts, the good stuff. They're having a great time. Remember, Harry Langestein finished in the top 4 at the Aaron's 499. So that was pretty happy days. Yep, just a nice relaxing Sunday drive. It really sounds nice. Stasio PK in a league of his own. That is 17th place. Well away from anybody else in the field. Joey Trickle, similar story there. Of course, he's 1 lap down. Jana Fogelman, Antonin Charlebois. Chris Harvey fighting with Brittany White here. Brittany White, though, a lap down, so whatever. Colin Cropley here. Montero Salen in a race of his own. The GOAT falling behind Ari Taiki and Leroy Jenkins, who have naturally much faster cars. The GOAT can only hope and beg for some little bit of slipstream to help him catch up here. While we weren't paying attention, Lucas Evans took the lead of this race and is on to lead another lap here at Talladega, ahead of Gerald Pepper and Gil Samaya. Riley Spurley there, Reagan Whitlock, Kristen Bracken, Sabrina Footlega, and Ashley Shadowald. So it seems as if the Dodge drivers have fallen behind a little bit. Lucas Evans out of the groove here. Gerald Pepper back into the race lead. Assuming he didn't have it before. I genuinely forget who's led laps already because I have the worst memory and I haven't. Obviously, I'm not paying attention enough. If you couldn't guess, this is not going to be a very memorable Talladega race. In fact, if it is memorable, it is insofar as it's been terrible already. Spoiler alert, this race is worse than Richmond. Richmond was a caution-filled wreckfest. We hardly had any sort of good green flag racing. And this is just sad. This is like the 2005 United States Grand Prix. That's harsh. Yeah, well, Gil Samaya leads the lap here. Let's take a look at your lap times. The GOAT is running 11th and has the 11th fastest lap time. That seems poetic enough, I suppose. Oh, here we go. It's a whole biker gang coming past the two highway patrolmen of Ebrahimian and Langenstein. This could definitely complicate matters here. Shot of Old Lego, Bracken, and Evans on the inside, passing by quite nicely while Whitlock, Spurley, Pepper, and Samaya get held up by the highway patrol. You're not going to be the least bit pleased about that, but obviously the patrol is dedicated to keeping the motorists safe, especially during peak travel times like spring, when people are visiting family for Easter, for example, even though we're still a few days. Actually, now that I think about it. See, I'm recording this race on March 15th, and this race is coming out a whole month later. Easter Sunday's already passed, so what I just said was just a load of crap. But, of course, some people have a whole week off after Easter Sunday. They basically have, that week after Easter off, so I think that this race comes out after that. But in any case, you probably will have people who came for Easter, stayed a whole week, and are heading back home now. Ebrahimian and Langenstein content to trade positions here. While we've been jibber-jabbering about this stuff, it seems that Lucas Evans is back in the race lead. I've just received an offer of 5% off for this 1928 $1 silver certificate. Is it any good? The condition is not too bad. Might be worth buying, actually. I have a 1934 funny back, which looks really good, so I don't think I'll be too miffed about the condition of a funny back from 1928. Obviously, I still want it to look good, but if it doesn't look as good as the 1934, I think that's probably still fine. I've realized that I've sort of become a little bit more elitist with my tastes and standards in the quality and condition of the paper notes I've been collecting lately. Whereas before I was content to have a bunch of really worn rags in the collection. At this point in the game, I'd much prefer crisp, possibly even unfolded bills. I've ended up spending quite a lot of money on, for example, the 1934 $1 silver certificate that I have, which I think would rate an XF. It's unfolded, one of the few unfolded notes I have, and very nice and crisp otherwise, but there is, for some reason, this rather spurious mark on the portrait. It appears to have been made in black marker, perhaps as early as 1934, so that's not a big deal. Obviously, I have tons of $1 bills, so whatever. Just got suddenly cold in here. Meanwhile, Shadowald and Futlego fighting for the lead here, making it 3 wide of Evans. Evans, once again, stuck on the outside line, not nearly as fast as the other two. Futlego once again charging into the lead. Bracken close behind in 4th. Pepper, Samaya, Spurley, and Whitlock. The rest of the top 8, as mentioned previously, they're going to be coming up on Joey Trickle, Samaya's teammate, who runs last of the cars left in this race, 21st and 1 lap down. Bummer. But yeah, Futlego leads. Shadowald and Evans, once again, Evans back to the inside here. They're going to be coming up on Joey Trickle, so that could definitely complicate matters much more complicatedly. Yeah, Trickle not quite LePaging the field, but definitely spreading them out and slowing them down. Samaya's not going to be very happy with his teammate whatsoever. Futlego's going to be the most pleased because he wins out here, has lots of nice free air ahead of him, and for some time at least a decent enough gap to the rest of the top 8. Bracken and Pepper here leading those guys 2nd and 3rd, and they'll definitely be coming back to him. Trickle has been dispatched. Shadowald last of those drivers to get past. She could very well end up falling away from the field, but she has a decent enough car. Look at that, 198. I can't even, how fast am I going? I can't even break 192. There we go. This whole race was a joke. Look, I have such a great opportunity to possibly get past Jenkins again thanks to PK, but instead I run into PK's car. That doesn't slow me down too much, but Taiki has no issue overtaking him. So, yeah, fat chance in hell that I have. Anyways, Spurley has come back at Futlego as predicted. Very nice. Again, Shadowald possibly falling behind here. Bracken able to stay in line, keeping in with the draft of the cars ahead. Start lap 22 of this race. Futlego to lead another lap here. Good stuff. Look at your lap times. Nothing changing there. Yeah, my lap times are garbage. Abysmal. Nothing worth writing home about. Samaya to the inside. Spurley following Futlego on the outside here. Whitlock and Bracken behind Samaya. Shadowald again, just barely keeping up now with the rest of the top 8 possibly about to make it a top 7 if she falls sufficiently far behind. I haven't really been paying attention to anybody else in this race, but as you can see, Legasteen and Ebrahimian are about to get lapped by Colin Cropley in 13th and company. Salin, White, Harvey, Jana Fogelman, and Charlebois. Well, not White, because yeah, White's actually fighting Legasteen and Ebrahimian for position. Salin was scored as 12th, but he's lost that to Colin Cropley, as mentioned. There's making it 3 wide here, fighting for those positions just outside the top 10. Effectively, who's 12th? Yeah, Cropley. Cropley's going to be 12th now. I have the worst memory. The GOAT's still ahead of Taiki for now. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to hold it for long. Oh, it's so boring. This is genuinely not fun. Legos dropped off the face of the earth, and Gil Samaya leads a lap here at Talladega. Pepper moving to the inside to retake the lead. There's Shadowvault. She was able to catch up with the 7 cars ahead of her. Now she finds herself in second place here. Evans is back as well. Again, 3 wide with the top 3. Down the backstretch here, Evans farther behind than Shadowvault and Pepper, but he's still making a stick there. 4 wide almost. Through turn 3, there it is, 4 wide. Pepper and Shadowvault both fall behind, but they make it 4 wide once again with Samaya and Bracken only very briefly. A bit Pepper losing 7 positions because he was briefly a nose ahead. Lego back into the race lead. Seriously, I just don't understand what it is with the racing at the restricted plate tracks. Why it always has to be like this. Is it like this in real life? Couldn't be asked to actually watch a real NASCAR race in years. I don't know. Can't be that hard. Daytona seems like it should be one of the easiest races there was, but it's not. It's one of the hardest. Of course, it has the largest purse and all that stuff, so everybody's really vying for the race lead at the end. But you know. Obviously, again, at this point in the game, a top 5 is a top 5. Even though Footlego's like... Isn't Footlego out of the running at this point? I think it's barely hanging on, actually. Same with Legasteen. I genuinely forget. But Brackett definitely up at the top there. Spurley, I think, has a decent enough chance. Gerald Pepper, of course, out of the championship running. Shadowvault might be as well. Again, I forget. But Evans and Samaya could also benefit very greatly from a good result today. It's the Highway Patrol once again. Legasteen and Ebrahimian. As you can see, they are yeah, 1 lap down already and about to be lapped for the 2nd time today. Trickle and yeah, Trickle's the only driver 2 laps down? Huh. Yeah, because Brittany White was able to get past them. Impressive. And she's still running up here with Cropley and Charlebois. Salin falling into oblivion. Apparently was able to get past Chris Harvey, though. These guys, yeah, they just, you know, just did it for the money. In real life, would I have retired by now? Maybe. I don't know. Seems as if the top 8 is separating here. Evans, Whitlock, Samaya, and Shadowvault appear to be falling behind. Evans has the best chance of catching up once again. But yeah, here's Spurley, here's Bracken, Footlego, and Pepper. Are these guys coming back at them? Yeah, look at the gaps between these drivers here. Our top 8 seems to have fallen into a top 5. Footlego leads. Oh, he's getting held up by Ebrahimian and Legasteen. Highway Patrol once again causing problems, slowing things down. Who's going to be out front? It's between Footlego and Bracken. Now contact with Footlego and Ebrahimian. Footlego goes into the wall. Evans goes spinning around. Pepper gets rammed into by Whitlock. Ebrahimian continues to spin. Evans as well. And that's us under caution for the 2nd time today. Remains to be seen if any of these people get absolutely sideswiped, blindsided by anybody else here, but no, seems they're all right. Dylan Ebrahimian, once again, causing problems as a lapped car for the leaders of the race. Whitlock is out. That is her race over, thanks to the damage sustained in that crash. We'll take a look at that once again. We have a very good view here. It's almost 4 wide. It looks like the conditions are right for 4 wide there, but yeah, Lego getting into Ebrahimian's car. No idea what might bring that along, but yeah, Ebrahimian continues to run into the side. We'll take a look at the cockpit cam here and see what direction that wheel is being turned in. He's holding it straight. They both appear to be holding it as straight as possible, but yeah, this must be a scary sight to see. That's Lego. You can't know for certain what's in all of that smoke. Again, it's a very good thing that none of these guys ended up getting, you know, absolutely rammed into later on. Perhaps through a section of Whitlock into Pepper. Yeah, actually, let's right on board with Pepper here. Perhaps it's something of a poetic end. Actually, Schadewald survives. Schadewald is invincible at the restrictor plate tracks. Imagine that. Can't say the same for Whitlock. Or Hicks, for that matter. So, I think Bracken leads that lap. That's what it looks like. Bracken could very well be on to win this race. Now, we have to go into caution, so, not caution. We are into caution, but we have to go to commercial once again. And when we come back, I'll basically will have skipped to the end of this caution period. Actually, no, we have to check on the pit stops, because pit stops are going to be happening right now. It's pretty neat. So after commercial, that's what we're going to be looking at. The smoke still clearing from the lap 28 crash that has brought out the second caution of the EA Sports 500.
We run with a fast crowd, a tough crowd.
More like a mob.
43 asphalt warriors.
Guys with one motto.
What goes around
Comes around.
eye for an eye, fender for a fender. Paybacks are a promise. Races end,
Rivalries don't.
you got a nice ride there. It'd be a shame if something were to
Happen to it.
Careful who you mess with, because now the pack doesn't forget. NASCAR Thunder 2004, rated E for everyone. EA Sports.
It's in the game.
Alright, we have some cars coming into the pits and cars staying out. Spurley and Schadewald are in, but strangely Bracken, Langestein, Samaya, and Evans are staying out. Lego's in as well, as is the GOAT, along with Cropley. Then, actually Charlebois, Fogelman, Jana Fogelman that is, Sal and Harvey, cars who are driving at the tail end of the field, away from the real action. But yeah, as you can see, the drivers staying out. Bracken, Langestein is a lap down. In fact, actually 2 laps down at this point, I believe. Indeed. Samaya, Evans, Jenkins, Tyke, Trickle, also 2 laps down. White and PK, those drivers are 1 lap down. Yeah, strangely they've stayed out. Spurley comes out ahead of Cropley. There's Jana Fogelman, Charlebois, Sal and the GOAT, Schadewald, Harvey, Lego. Pepper's still on pit road. Remains to be seen if he comes back out onto the racetrack. Oh, it's a heartbreak. It's a hammer blow to Gerald Pepper's fans. He's retired from the race. Ebrahimian is also out. Is that it? Maybe. Gonna be out here for a while, huh? Yep, so, okay. We are now truly and officially left with only just over half the field out of the race. Lego last of the cars on the lead lap. Langestein, White, PK, and Trickle start on the inside line. But anyways, when we restart, Bracken will lead Samaya, Evans, Jenkins, Tyke, Spurley, Cropley, Jana Fogelman, Charlebois, Sound, the GOAT, Schadewald, and Harvey, as well as Lego as previously mentioned. Again, out of this race, Pepper, Whitlock, and Ebrahimian after the crash on lap 28. Gonna restart here on lap 33. Bracken again to lead the field to the green flag alongside Harry Langestein, who's 2 laps down. underway once again here at Talladega Super Speedway. I believe that's us up to 75% race distance, just about completed here. Bracken leading the field. So look at the goat flying through the field there, making it 3 wide. Obviously had a much better restart than the other drivers here. Clearly faster on that draw there. That's where he's strongest. But now, it remains to be seen if he can not only catch the field, but possibly find himself in the race lead. Look at the pace he's showing. Accelerating much more quickly than the rest of the field there. Samaya and Bracken breaking free. The goat matching their speed. Tit for tat at present. Oh dear. Bracken and Samaya both slowed down just the slightest bit there. Oh, there. Artificial stupidity strikes, ladies and gentlemen. Bracken and Samaya into the pits, along with Tyke, Evans, and Jenkins. That's their hope at winning this race in the gutter. The goat leads at Talladega. How about that? Spurley second now. Jana Fogelman running third. White still 1 lap down. Whatever. Schadewald, Fitlego. Trickle still 2 laps down. Here are Harvey, Cropley, Salin, and Charlebois, along with Langenstein and Salin, lapped cars. But yeah, the goat's little stint in a lead, not certain to last for long. Spurley will be coming back at him, despite not having any drafting support, because he's just faster than me for some reason. Why do I suck at this track? Why do I suck at all the restricted plate tracks? Boggles the mind. Why am I so slow? What am I doing wrong? What could I possibly be doing wrong with the setup? When the default Jasper Motorsports engine fails you, setup that is, then you're pretty much far past screwed. Oh yeah, that's the goat letting Spurley through in just a split second. The goat's lead evaporates. He's bumping and banging with Riley Spurley there. Oh, he's insisting on it. He's back into the race lead. How about that? Good driving from the goat there. Defending from Riley Spurley. Able to slow him down by banging into the side of his car. A little bit dirty, but rubbing his racing. And at Talladega, anything goes. Schadewald runs third. Lego down to fourth. Jana Fogelman down to fifth. Spurley trying to come back at the goat here. What's going on with the drivers who came out of pit road recently? Jenkins, Tyke, Bracken, Samaya, and Evans have fallen behind the field. Yeah. Basically, they're hoping a good finish is over because their dumbasses didn't pit along with the rest of the field under the caution. Artificial stupidity. Strikes again, and there's just no rational explanation for that blunder from those 5 drivers. We're on the lead lap, by the way. The drivers who were lapped down did wait until the next lap by, and they pitted. They all did. Pretty sure that's true, but as you can see, White, PK, and Evans are being scored a lap down. So Evans, not only he was in third. He was part of the crash on lap 28, but he was going to restart third, and now he finds himself a lap down behind White and PK. What a disaster for Lucas Evans. Meanwhile, the GOAT just slowing up the whole field here, basically. He runs in front of Spurley and Schadewald. He has to keep this up for another 10.5 laps. The GOAT unable to win that race at Daytona where he led so many laps. Can he finally get a restricted plate win today? I doubt it. Let me just check my text here. You call this a storm? Huh. Okay. Where's that from? Okay, that's that done. Nothing changed with regards to the lap times here. Schadewald stepping out to the inside. The GOAT hanging out in the middle just ahead of Spurley on the outside. Schadewald's going to have that inside line through turn 3. Spurley looks like he's going to shift back here. Schadewald up into second now, right behind the GOAT. Going to have 9 laps to go once they cross the line at the end of the tri-oval, of course. That's one of the fun things about Talladega. The finish line's all the way over here, which, yeah, really, that really just adds, it really does add a whole different dimension to the racing at Talladega, because the race isn't over in the tri-oval. The race ends after the tri-oval, so you have to be pushing it all the way through. Again, that's how Harvick won that race against Jamie McMurray in 2010. In fact, I believe it was the fall race. Maybe. Either way, it's a very impressive win at Talladega. Schadewald's riding the goat's rear bumper here. Riley Spurley filing in behind. Goat leads, Schadewald second, Spurley third, Lego fourth, Salin fifth. Jana Fogman and Colin Cropley fight for sixth, Harvey right behind in eighth. Charlebois ninth. Running out your top 10 will be Christian Brackett alongside Gil Samaya running right behind in 11th. Enjoying their nice Sunday drive. On the backstretch here, there's Tyke and Jenkins as the GOAT flies through turns 1 and 2 here. Still defending that position for his life here. Almost looked like he left the door open on accident for Schadewald. He continues to bob and weave. Schadewald not giving an inch there, not looking the least bit phased. Spurley falling behind once again, but he'll be sure to come back into the drafting line without much issue here. Exiting turn 4, there he is right behind Schadewald once again. There he is making the move on Schadewald. Schadewald. What the hell was that? Moving to the inside, trying to block him off, but unable to. No time, no space, and Spurley back into second. Ahead of your Daytona 500 winner, whose name I'm unfortunately going to have to continue to repeat because I don't know reasons. 7 laps to go. This still is the worst race. Worse than the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. This has just been an absolute bore fest. I don't know how you could possibly find this exciting. Nearly half the field crashed out on lap 2, which effectively denied us a much larger race here. All the restrictor plate races ended up being like this. The Daytona 500, rather fortunately, was the exception. It was a nice, exciting crash at the end, but it's not as if it took out most of the field. The Aaron's 499, most of the field ended up crashing out. You know? Pepsi 400, the big one took out over half the field. That was actually a much more exciting race, but honestly I think that's by virtue of its being Daytona. Obviously, between Daytona and Talladega, I prefer Daytona. It's Daytona. Daytona, USA might not actually be in Daytona, USA, but it's Daytona. Come on. That's the thing you gotta ask about. You gotta ask, Europeans especially, but also Asians, Middle Easterners, South Americans. Yeah, what their opinion of NASCAR is. And, well, I mean, to follow through with that, what they think of the Daytona 500. If the Daytona 500 is anywhere near as prestigious a race outside of the United States as it's seen within. Obviously, the Indy 500, something to feel patriotic about if you're American, because, yeah, the Indy 500 is one of the 3 Triple Crown of Motorsports events, along with the 24-hour of Le Mans. Originally, of course, it was considered that the entire Formula 1 World Drivers' Championship was considered the 3rd part of the Triple Crown. I guess in recent years it fell down to the Monaco Grand Prix. So technically that makes Jacques Villeneuve a Triple Crown winner in the old sense, the arguably more difficult sense, but not a Triple Crown winner insofar as Monaco is involved, because he never did win the Monaco Grand Prix. But yeah, he has won the 24-hour Le Mans and the Indy 500. Very nice. But yeah, Graham Hill has won both the Monaco Grand Prix and F1 Drivers' Championship, along with, of course, the Indy 500 and 24-hour Le Mans, making him basically the only person to complete the Triple Crown of Motorsports in both senses. Many people have won both the Indy 500 and Monaco Grand Prix, or both the Indy 500 and 24-hour Le Mans, or the Monaco Grand Prix and the 24-hour Le Mans. Yeah. You know what I mean. But yeah, Hill was the only person to do all three. 4, technically. If anybody could do it, probably would have been. If anybody were able to do it, it probably should have been Michael Schumacher. If only Juan Pablo Montoya were a champion, but yeah, unfortunately for him, he was racing at the same time as Schumacher, so yeah, how about that? 3 laps to go here. The GOAT still defending from Rally Spurley. Schottewald fell behind a little bit because who got in the way? Langestein, yeah, Langestein was in the way. We could easily talk about so many more other things while watching this race, because just nothing's happening. 2 laps to go, and I guess it's a little bit more tense, because the GOAT still has to hold off Rally Spurley, who's not made any sort of legitimate move for the race lead here. Of course, he would need Schottewald to support him for that. Schottewald falls in right behind. The GOAT still bobbing and weaving. Teasing Spurley there, giving maybe a little bit too much room, and oh, that's the GOAT making a mistake. That's him giving him too much room. That's the GOAT spinning across Spurley's front end. Schottewald into the wall as well. Spurley goes around. That's the caution out. Spurley gets rammed into by Jada Fogelman. A tire flies into the air. Was that a piece of... Oh, dear. And that's the GOAT's race over. And... oh, dear. What an end. Oh, dearie me. We don't even know who won. Who's going to make it to the caution first. But, yeah. Jada Fogelman rams into Rally Spurley's car. Chris Harvey gets brake checked fundamentally. But, yeah, the GOAT... Colin Cropley rams into the GOAT, blindsiding him. The last thing the GOAT wanted. He ends up on his roof. So yeah, the race over early for, yeah, Harvey, Spurley, Cropley, and Jana Fogelman there. But White somehow still able to get some power to that car. I mean, look at that. It's right on board here. Look how far behind she was again from everything going off here. And still somehow she got involved in the accident. That wasn't that bad, I guess, but still. Now just look at them. The front end of Colin Cropley's car, I think, just goes flying. I thought that was a tire. Look at this. This must be terrifying. That's more so for the GOAT when you're going upside down. I may have had a chance to not spin down the track there. What was I doing? What's the cockpit cam look like? I don't know. Anyways, who makes it? Footlego. Footlego makes it to the line first. Salin second. Finally, a good race result for Montero Salin. Look how tantalizingly close he was to the race win. But Sabrino Footlego takes the checkered flag at Talladega Superspeedway. He's going to victory lane. Salin finishes second. Schottewald third. Another top 10 for Schottewald at a restrictor plate track. Charlebois comes home fourth. How about that? Bracken fifth, despite having led this race at various points. Samaya seventh. Evans eighth, huh? Evans ninth, because he's a lap down. Oops. Jenkins 7th, Taiki 8th, and PK rounds out your top 10. The GOAT stuck in pit road there. But yeah, obviously crashing out early on. Spurley, who could have won this race. Jana Fogelman, Colin Cropley, Chris Harvey, Brittany White, unfortunately, out as well. Isn't Trickle still in it? Still in the mix? Yeah, Trickle's still up there, but yeah, okay. Sabrino Footlego wins. Yay! Cool. Yeah, we can take a look at your practice times. I set an abysmal one. Qualifying? Terrible. Happy hour? I didn't even bother. But yeah. Sabrina Footlego wins today. Montero Salin second. Ashley Schottewald third. Charlebois fourth. Bracken fifth. Samaya sixth. Jenkins seventh. And Taiki, the last of your lead lap finishers, Evans and PK round out your top 10. Finished 1 lap down today. The GOAT being scored as 2 laps down despite crashing out on lap 46. Spurley, Jana Fogelman, Cropley, Harvey, White also involved in that accident. Trickle came home down. Yeah, that's not that. Yeah, I had the correct order there. Trickle came home down 2 laps. Harry Langestein 3 laps down. Gerald Pepper, Reagan Whitlock, and Dylan Bohemian crashed out on lap 28. And crashing out on lap 2, Johnson, Voiles, Morgan, Reggie Fogelman, Hicks, Smith, Monaco, Burnett, Thomas, Floba, Wells, Davis, Ozkan, Zane, Austin, Wolf, Sato, Franco, and Allen. Oh boy, it's going to be exciting to see how the point situation looks after that. Sabrino Fuego ekes out a win at Talladega. Next race, the Bank 400 at Kansas Speedway. But more importantly, what's that? 7 races to go. So let's run the numbers here. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum-dum. 994. So you have to be within 994 points of the race leader, and Shadowald just barely there. Shadowald hanging on by just a thread. She could beat Patrick Smith on tiebreaker, assuming that she wins all of the races. It's not going to happen. Even Nastasio P can argue Taiki. Just barely in there. But yeah, also knocked out then Cropley and Langestein. And yeah, it looks like Shadowald as well. Just when Cropley's luck was finally getting back together, he piled into the GOAT. How poetic. He smashed into the GOAT's car, did not finish the race, and that finish just wasn't good enough. Oof. Patrick Smith still leads the points. Eric Monaco still behind, just barely in second. Christian Bracken closing the gap ever so slightly. Gil Samaya 4th, the GOAT 5th, Voiles 6th, Davis 7th, Trickle 8th, Harvey 9th, and Evans back into the top 10 there. Wolf, Spurley, Ozkan, Wells, Morgan, Thomas, Reggie Fogelman, Burnett, and as mentioned, Taiki and PK round out your top 20. Everybody in the top 20 realistically can still win the championship, but again, really it's just looking like it's going to end up being between the top 5, maybe the top 13, because Wells is farther behind than Ozkan is to Spurley, for example. But yeah, still, yeah, 7 races to go. Long way to go for a lot of these drivers here. Cannot afford to get crashed off the way they were today. That's Talladega for you. What is next? Kansas. Kansas should be safe. Same with Lowe's. Martinsville. Martinsville's going to be fun. Atlanta. Phoenix. The Rock. And then the finale at Homestead, Miami. But yeah. Next up is the Bank 400 at Kansas Speedway. Take a look at your stats here. Poles, still the GOAT with 9. Samai and Evans have 4. Smith 3. Trickle 2. Voiles, Davis, Morgan, Burnett, Taiki, Pepper, and Whitlock all have 1 pole. But of course, Burnett's pole today was worth nothing because he crashed out on lap 2. Oof. GOAT has 9 wins. Samaya 3. Smith, Monaco, and Pepper 2. Yeah, unique race winners: Bracken, Davis, Harvey, Evans, Wolf, Ozkan, Taiki, Shadowald, Cropley, Futlego, and Sevilla. So Futlego in the bottom 10. We hardly even noticed, but yeah, he won the race today. Cool. I think we actually didn't really look at the what the bottom 20 actually is shaping up like. But yeah, Pepper up to 24th there. Langestein to 23rd. Yeah. Smells like failure. Patrick Smith still has 13 top 5s, 19 top 10s. Crashed out today, but he finished just barely ahead of Monaco, so that points gap increased by like 6 points, I think. I don't know. Ah, well, we could take a look at the stats another time. The GOAT able to lead a few more laps today. Woohoo. Who got the extra points? The GOAT with 13. Cool. Well, anyways, it's been Hanafuda. It's been a time and a half. An honor. And I'll see you in the next video. Now, I've actually been to Kansas Speedway. I just went outside to like one of the checkpoints or something and I took a picture.